Yo everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing my 2024 beauty regrets, hates, that sort of thing. Thankfully, I've been very strict with the kind of things that I've purchased this year. However, a few did still manage to sneak through. So I'm going to start off with this guy right here. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm Serum Boosted Skin Tint. Absolutely hate this. So it looks like this. You basically just wind it up and then you wipe it all over your face, blend it in. I know it's not obviously supposed to be a foundation, it's a skin tint, so it's just meant to more even out your skin, which this kind of does do. But the fact that it's so emollient means that it's very, very oily, very greasy, breaks down on the face very quickly. It also still doesn't manage to give me that kind of evenness that I need. Now, a lot of these kind of skin tints, you don't want to powder them because the whole purpose of them is to give you that kind of natural glow. However, because it shifts around on the face so much, you do have to powder it down, and it kind of defeats the purpose of, to me, it being a skin tint. Very disappointed with this, especially because it's not cheap either. Anastasia Beverly Hills products are quite expensive. This one was a massive letdown for me, and ever since I did my review video on it, I've literally not even touched it. It's just sitting at the back of my foundation drawer. Every single thing that I'm going to share with you guys in today's video, I've done reviews on so that you can look into them in a little bit more detail if you are interested. This was a massive disappointment for me. This is the reformulated Too Faced Born This Way Soft Matte Oil Control Foundation. 24-hour wear hyaluronic acid. The original one, the OG, was absolutely excellent. Hands down one of my favorite foundations. They changed the packaging from the glass bottle to this more squeezy kind of tube, which I don't mind. It still works perfectly fine. However, the way that that performs is completely different to the way this one performed. Don't understand still to this day why they even decided to change it. There's that saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why did you touch it? Who was complaining that the last one was even bad? And I've even noticed that the color is a little bit off as well. My shade is golden beige and this one is a little bit dark on me, and I was like, I don't understand, because the previous one I actually could only really wear it in the winter months because it was so pale that I could only wear it at my palest. I'm thinking now you lot have fiddled with the color as well. And one of the major selling points of this is supposedly that it has 24-hour wear. This did not even last 12 hours on my face, and it's also marketed as soft matte oil control foundation. It does not control oil at all. It would break down around my nose, separate around this area, create smile lines, broke down around my chin area, and it was just a massive, massive disappointment. For something that has been reformulated, you expect it to be better. Otherwise, why did you bother reformulating it? I was really, really disappointed with this. It's just not worth the money. It's not worth the expense, and it was a massive, massive regret for me. This next foundation should also be of no surprise. This is the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. Forgetting about the fact that there is literally no shade for my light to medium golden undertones within her range. This is in the shade Toasted Coconut 240N, which when I went in store into Sephora and swatched them all on my hand, this was the closest I could get. But I'm not neutral in undertone, so even when I did my review video, there were people who just didn't pay attention to the review at all, despite the fact that I'm saying, yes, I'm testing out my face so that you guys can see how it applies to the face, but I'm telling you, I am not neutral, but this is still the closest I could get. People are still arguing with me and telling me that I've got issues with my skin color. Really? Come on, you guys. You should know better by now than to be saying these kind of things to me. Also, pay attention to reviews properly. Don't just comment on the basis of a thumbnail, and don't just comment because you've decided to skip through a video and then write little mean girl comments. It's really sad. I know that this does not match my skin tone, but regardless of that, even if it did, it's a terrible foundation. One of the problems with this was its longevity. It doesn't even make it to hour 12 or even hour 10 before again it starts to break down on my entire face. Now, because it's got that natural airbrush kind of texture, you're not supposed to look glowy or shiny. However, after a certain period of time, because it started to break down on the face, it starts to look very kind of overly glowy. Now, I'm somebody who's got textured skin, and I generally tend to go for more matte or natural satin kind of foundations. So when I'm purchasing something like this, I'm expecting it to do what it says, stay natural and airbrush looking. Now, yes, I did look airbrushed, but at the same time, it was all completely breaking down on my face. It's not resistant to sweat, humidity, or water, and overall, it's just quite a poor foundation. I'm not actually the hugest fan of Huda Beauty's foundations. I would definitely say that that is one area that that brand needs to work on a lot better, especially in terms of their shades as well. Despite the fact fact that the shade range is so big, people like myself and within my kind of color range are being completely missed out. Now that I'm done with the face, let's move on to lips, because the rest all seem to be lip related. These are the NYX Fat Oil Slick Clicks Shiny Lip Balms. Now, I like them, but at the same time, I really do despise them. I like the way that they look on the lips. They make my lips look full and glossy, and they're very, very pigmented. But at the same time, they are incredibly messy. Now, I've got 4 of these all together, so I will give you an example. So obviously, it's called Slick Click because you click it so that the product itself comes up. There's no way of getting it to come back down. So you should only really use a little bit at a time. Now, because it has got that lip balm kind of consistency, what happens is I will start to apply it and it will start to bleed around the edges of this and start to smush everywhere, making a complete mess on my mouth. And as a result of that, I really do not like these at all. I'm slowly finishing them. I think a lot of the problem is more to do with the packaging. The fact that it is so messy, it gets onto everything and it kind of moves around on the mouth and it's just like, ugh. The Huda Beauty Faux Filler Lip Glosses. Now, these are okay in terms of what they are as a lip gloss, but my issue with these was the level of pigmentation. I've got, again, 3 of these. They're just not pigmented enough to make any kind of significant difference to my naturally darker lips. Now, despite the fact that I've got light to medium golden undertone skin and I'm not considerably deep in tone, my lips are a lot darker than my face. My lips are dark purple with a hint of pink, and I've got a different colored top lip and a bottom lip. I'm applying these. It doesn't really make that much of a difference in terms of pigmentation. There isn't enough pigmentation with these. If there was, I probably would have used these a lot more. For now, I just tend to use these as toppers now and then. But then for somebody like me who's got bleedy lips, it's really weird. Lip glosses never really stay put on my mouth. They always start to bleed downwards. Then what happens is that they start to bleed and move around. Too much of a faff. They're expensive and they're just not worth the money in my mind. These were a massive disappointment for me because of the fact that I bought pretty much the entire range. I did a review on these quite recently as they only came out in the UK towards the end of 2024. These are the Maybelline SuperStay Teddy Tints. They tried to copy Korean makeup brands by coming out with their versions of lip tints and they failed massively. These are so bad that after doing my review video on these, I have not touched them since. And considering they cost what, £11–12 each, and I bought all of them, it is a huge waste of money for me. They are too sheer. You have to build them up a lot in order to get some sort of pigmentation on lips such as mine. And then what happens is the more you apply, the stickier they become. They become so sticky that your lips are actually stuck together as you're talking. They start to flake off because I've obviously got too much on. But if I don't put enough on, there's not really much happening. Korean lip tints, in my opinion, are absolutely excellent. They tint the lips beautifully, but at the same time, there is still a decent amount of pigmentation, and then they slowly wear off throughout the day, and there is zero stickiness. It almost feels like there's nothing on your lips. These, on the other hand, I'm very aware that they're on my lips. For an example, I'm wearing Maybelline SuperStay Vinyl Ink in Lippy at the moment. I've got about 2 layers on. My lips are a little bit tacky, but not enough to make any kind of real annoyance for me, and that's the reason why I love them so much, and the reason why I bought all of these as well, because I was under the impression that they would be similar in terms of quality to the vinyl inks and then the matte inks as well, and these fall massively flat. So these are a huge disappointment for me. I hate all of them. I don't use any of them ever. They're just sitting in my room waiting to expire before I throw them away. So that's it for all of my beauty regrets for 2024. Thankfully, it wasn't loads, like I said, but these are definitely the standout ones for me that I just don't even use anymore, because I just don't see the merit in having to use something which I actually just don't like. So at some point, I will get rid of them and throw them in the bin. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are. What have you hated in 2024? What have you really regretted buying in terms of makeup? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching my video. Like, comment, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all soon.